want to do, yeah, let me open this. Okay. Too small for you?
Yeah.
Okay, this is one. Okay, this here. Okay, Isaac, would you read this, please?
The Upasata Hall and the Pata Moksha. One of the primary sources of unity within local Theravada monastic communities has been the regular observance of the Pata Moksha ceremony. All higher ordained members of the community gather together in the Upasata Hall twice each month and ritually affirm their collective purity with respect to each of the regulations.
Okay, you can stop now. Thank you.
So this is talking about the Theravada monks, how twice a month they meet for the observance of the Patamoksha ceremony. And the higher monks, it's the higher monk. And they affirm the purity among one another.
Yeah. Yes, especially in this country, whichever thing we do, right? Whether we build a house, the temple, the building and so forth, we have to follow all kind of regulation, right? And even driving the car and drive or having the CDL and so forth, we need to follow the rules, the regulation. So my question is that why do we need to have those couple of regulation?
Oh, Master, can you press the OK so we can see your
What's that?
no, can you press the OK? This is where it's being recorded. It's on our end. Oh, sorry.
They are not my computer. Yes. You can control the mic, that's okay too. Yeah. Okay, so you know why do we have a lot of regulation when whichever we do, whether we do business or build the temple or the business or the houses? Why do we need to have those couple of regulation? Isaac, you know why?
So that people in the position in that field, that they are knowledgeable in that respective field, so that it's not just anyone carrying out the task that's needed. So I guess it would be similar with a monk. If they're a high monk, then they should, of course, follow the rules. If they're a construction worker, they should follow the rules and regulations also.
Yeah, that's the whole idea then. Matt, you remember about the Hurricane Katrina 2004? You know about um, mm, the Superdome in New Orleans? You know about that?
Yeah.
You know about what? You remember? What's about that Superdome in New Orleans during the Hurricane Katrina? You know what it's about?
It was damaged, wasn't it?
What's that?
It was damaged. Did they have to relocate?
And also,
Yeah.
so what? It's a mess there, right? There's no
Yeah.
clearance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about in India? You know how they drive the car, right? Yeah. Okay. So Isaac and Matt may not imagine I was in India before, right? I saw that in India and in Vietnam is it's a little bit similar. Can you tell them how are they driving over there?
It's difficult.
Do they follow the rules for the red light and so forth? Do they follow those or no? Or they skip?
It's their own rules, and everyone will honk, and that is the communication between each other. So it's multitasking.
It's worse than New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no rules, nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Over there, the lines are just a suggestion. That's the joke.
That's why it's so many accident, right? Because it's so chaos. They don't follow the rule much, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people are there. And it's not like everyone is rich and all. Middle class is a lot. So they want to walk on the pathway and someone going in there. So it's that thing.
Mm-hmm. You driving the car over there, or you drive my motorcycle?
I drive the car, but someone will be there by side because I don't have that much courage to go inside that too crowd. If the bus and all, it will come so close to the car and all. So we will get so frightened.
Yeah, Giáo đạo lấy cái máy, Giáo đạo lấy cái máy, mở cái máy để dạy tôi dễ nghe hơn á. Yeah, so let's see here. Let him get the laptop. So anyway, so Isaac, imagine that while you're driving the car on the road, some people they drive through the red light. What do you think? No way, right? Of course, here, yeah, they have to pay for the fine for violation, but in India, it's just a chaos, right?
Price is there, we need to pay. Even we park like in one side, they will stick some sticker and it will come to like a message, we have fine. Then we will pay it.
Yeah, this is chaos. Let me find. Okay, driving. Okay, let me share with you this one here. Is that everywhere? Is that right? Is this everywhere, right?
Whoa.
Is
That's
it?
Vietnam.
Yeah,
Yeah, Vietnam.
yeah. Is it in India? Okay, let's see here.
The tuk-tuk, right? They call tuk-tuk in India.
Yeah.
Tuk-tuk like the taxi. It's the three.
Taxi we call it.
Yeah.
A bike.
They call tuk-tuk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a style. India too.
No rule for traffic. Do they have? They still have the red light, the green light, the yellow light, right?
Yeah, we have all the rights.
Why? It's so neat for the lights. No, stop sign too.
You need to be so expert in driving there. Okay.
Yeah. And in Vietnam is similar. In Vietnam is similar too. It's better. They have some rules. They've been in Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah. Like 5 years ago. It's better. Look at here.
Yeah, it's traffic means this is the situation.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give the fine now. It's much better now. But anyway, so Tim, so again, if we don't follow the rules much, that's what happened. And that's why there's so many accidents in the car. That's why we have some kind of you look at them, you see that yeah, get stuck there. And look at here, it's just crazy.
Yeah, bikers will be in the front side. Then all the standard.
Anyway, so you know why we have the earthquake, right, in Myanmar recently, right? There's just so many people die, right? It's muted, right? Mm. Uh, Earthquake in Myanmar, in Burma. So probably they may not follow the code, right? they may follow the code to build the building. That's why it's easy to collapse, right? And my point I want to say is that in our society, somehow if we follow we have some kind of regulation, a strict regulation, it's more safe for us to stay in the building, for us to drive in the car, and even the food, right? So of course here we have the EPA. You know what's been EPA, Mark, right? You know EPA, that agency regulate uh, the food that we consume, right? Otherwise, it's not easy. Yeah, in other country like India, Vietnam, and so forth, they don't have that kind of agency. Do they have that kind of agency in India? The EPA, you know what's mean EPA?
I don't know the traffic police and all this.
Do they?
I
Uh,
don't.
Matt, could you explain to her what's mean the EPA? Yeah.
You know what the EPA is? The EPA is the Environmental Protection Agency. It revolves around setting regulations for like dumping waste into rivers, gas regulations. In some states with poor air quality, they'll have regulations around how long you can have a fire going because of the smoke that it emits. What Ty was referring to was the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. So we have that, and that kind of monitors the food quality in the United States. They do tests on all of the foods that we grow and make sure that the chemicals that are in there from pesticides and everything are below a certain limit to where it's not harmful for humans. There's a lot of controversy on those regulations at the moment, on whether or not they're actually benefiting people, but they are in place and you're supposed to follow them. So.
Can river,
Mm-hmm.
can river,
The river.
and again in India, right?
Oh, the Ganges.
Okay, got.
Uganda, no, can river.
Mở cái mic lên, mở cái mic lên nghe rõ cái máy đó. Yeah, so yeah, in some country, even in Vietnam, right, the river, the creek is so for many of them are polluted, right? Because some company they get release the waste, the black water into the river, or even people they may not care much. But my point I want to say is that yeah, as much as we have, at least we have those kind of regulation. At least people follow those kind of regulation, right? Our life more safe and our life more healthy. So go back to my point. I want to say is that again, with this kind of regulation in the Buddhist communities, how we live ourselves with that kind of regulation and rules is much better, right? Isaac, you follow Isaac, right?
Yes, I understand.
Imagine that while we flying, it happened while we flying on the airplane. People, if they want to do anything they want to, it'll be the mess, right? When we flying on the airplane, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. What do you think, all right, Isaac? If people want to do things as the way that they do at home, is that the chaos? What do you think?
Uh, if they did what they want at home.
Mhm. When they fly on the airplane, and if they do things that they want, yeah, what do you think?
Uh, I think,
Yeah, and Stephen, can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes, how are you?
Thank you. Today I send the different email. You see two email, right?
I just saw the first one. I didn't catch the second one. I got home just a little bit late, so.
We just talk about the Buddhist regulation and rules, and we talk about sometime in other country in like India and Vietnam, they have chaos driving there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been back in Vietnam before, right?
Not in a while, but yes, I have been there before. So
What is that? When was the last time that you went back there?
before Sabrina was born.
Uh, about
So she's now 18, so easily 19 years or so ago.
okay. Remember how was the driving?
Chaotic.
Yeah. How
So I'm sorry.
how was that? Is this
I mean, it was okay. Much better than the very first time that I was back there, of course. But after each time I got back, it got a little bit better because just like anywhere else, they slowly started incorporating like regulation rules of driving so that you don't drive recklessly because, obviously when you drive reckless, you're always going to have accidents, and fatality and all that. So that was the reason, especially the bigger city. So, but yeah, compared to here, yeah, it's more reckless. So I heard India was worse.
yeah, how about at work? In your company, there's a lot of preparation, right? How you deal with the customer and how you deal with the patient and so forth, right?
Correct. There's always going to be some kind of rule and process to make it more consistent, for everyone else. So based on the department. So
So Matt, when you deal with that type of research, do you need to follow some type of preparation for those type of green energy machine or equipment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead. Mm. Yeah, you need to turn off the sound from the big computer, big screen. Yeah. Hey, go ahead.
Mute mute that one.
Yeah, they do that.
All right, how about now? All right,
Good.
we're good.
Thank you.
So yeah, in the lab setting specifically, uh, the main regulations we need to follow involve how many chemicals we have in a certain lab space. We can't have too many things that are flammable or explosive, things like that. And we're regulated a lot on how we dispose of chemicals. So certain things are allowed to go down the sink and most are not. And so we need to separate waste containers based on the type of chemicals it is. Is it an active? Is it base? Is it reactive? And follow protocols for storing those and having people come and collect those chemicals.
Yeah. So what do you think? Well, you think that people need to follow more rules, or like people in India, they may not care much about rule. What do you think? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. You please. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah, lady. Yeah. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Oh, you cannot hear? Oh. Isaac, can you hear me? Theo giáo đạo, theo this the computer. You cannot hear? Oh, probably. Yeah, let me call giáo đạo. Ra coi mà sao nè, sao không có nghe?
We can hear you now.
Oh, can you hear me now?
There we go.
yeah, we can
Oh,
hear you online, but I believe at the temple may not be able to hear you. There he
No,
is.
Đạo.
can hear
Good now.
Right now, we
Oh,
can-
we're muted. We're muted though.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, so about lady, what do you think? Is better to follow all kind of rules and regulation, or we have to be easy with that? What do you think?
We need to follow rules and regulation, like which is like common rules and all, like traffic ones and whatever is going for the environment, all the stuff, because it's good for all. And I think there are some rules we don't want to, like something like embossing and all that we don't want to follow. It's my opinion.
Yeah, so we need to go to middle way, right? Not
Yes.
too much, not be lousy, right? Okay, yeah, let's first uh, yeah. Yeah, please read this one, the next one here, right here. Yeah.
Even though this public recitation no longer provides the context of publicly confessing disciplinary infractions, it continues to define collective identity within the local monastic communities and within their broader fraternal affiliations. The ritual boundaries.
You
Uh,
can stop.
mm,
You talk about for the monks, for us, the Buddha put some rules. If we have the big group of monks, I mean that many monks who live together, we need to decide the rules so that we can remember. That's what about here. Yeah. So the public recitation of the rules here. Yeah. Okay. And Mark, please. Yeah.
The ritual boundaries, simas, were circumscribed, which circumscribed specific local monastic residences, determined where monks participate in a twice monthly ceremony, and a special ritually bounded structure is traditionally set up apart within the monastery grounds for this ritual, as well as for formal acts of the sangha, such as ordination.
Yeah, you can stop that. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
Sounds like that the ceremonies were in, the monastery grounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it took place twice.
Yeah. We set up the the rule and regulation or decide the spiritual ceremony around the temple. Yeah. And Stephen, please.
Yes. The ceremony also serves as a symbolic assurance to the laity that the local Sangha continues to abide by the Vinaya and thus remains a highly productive field of merit for those who support its upkeep with material donations.
Yeah.
Here it also just pretty much mentioned that the specific local um, temple or a sangha there is basically they have that inside, and also not only for the monks, of course, but it's also for the normal practitioner to follow and make sure that everything's in order. So, in a general sense of what I'm understanding.
Yeah, go ahead, Isaac, please.
Malgalayana, as well as rules for important rituals such as ordination and patimoksha recitation. The second section provides a more detailed elaboration of monastic deportment and responsibility, outlining a set of standards that govern interactions both within the community and between monastics and laity. It also includes a narrative of the establishment of the women's monastic order in the first and second councils.
Okay, yeah. Mm.
So it basically goes into detail about that particular ceremony and how it outlines interactions between the monks as well as the monks and the lay people, and for the nuns also. The narrative of how the nun or the women's monastic order came to be.
Yeah. So even at our temple, we have the monks and nuns living at the same temple, but we have some separate quarter. Yeah, that's why we follow that couple of rule. And yeah, okay, yeah. Please, lady, can you read, please?
The third section of Vinaya, the Parivara, gives the detailed summaries of the extensive material found in the previous two sections. These summaries organize the content of the Vinaya into a variety of forms that facilitate the instruction of new members of the community.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
It also gives a summaries like what are the content in the next previous two sections about it, and also the variety of home and how the new members of the communities are facilitating. They explain those points.
Mm. Yeah. So yeah, when we live together in the groups, so yeah, we follow those type of relation too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Mark, please. Yeah.
The detailed and complex code of monastic discipline outlined in the Vinaya may strike many contemporary Westerners as legalistic and unnecessarily concerned with the matters of external behavior. But such a perspective fails to recognize the extent to which Theravada Buddhist tradition has linked mental cultivation and the realization of the Dharma with the total pattern of life defined by the code of monastic discipline.
Yes, you can stop there, please.
So this is saying that from a Western perspective, this appendix is very strict,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't understand why, because they don't understand that for the traditional Theravada Buddhist tradition, that there is such a synergy between, you know, what you're practicing in your mind versus alongside what you're doing in your actual life.
Mm-hmm.
So from a Western perspective, they don't view it like that. But from the Buddhist perspective, right, it's your thoughts become your actions, and that's kind of why they have this summary at the end, is to further reinforce that.
Yeah, even for the lay people, they have the five precepts. And Stephen, can you remember the five precepts for the lay people?
Oh, I do not remember the whole complete in order, but obviously one of them is no cheating, no hurting, or no hurting in general, not just, killing, of course, an extreme of any living being. Wrongful, I think, speech and thinking, I think. I'm not quite sure whether they're separate or both. And I just don't remember. Sorry.
I exactly remember the five of them, remember? Yeah.
I know the third, I don't know them in order, but I know the third one is no sexual misconduct. And then there's no stealing, no lying, no killing, and no taking of intoxicants is the fifth one, I believe.
Mhm. Yeah. In India, right, many people, they are vegetarian, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's half of the population, or what's the percentage?
A lot of people are like that, especially in Hindu community and the Brahmins and mostly the upper caste, they are like vegetarians.
Mhm.
And of course, there's other religion, they are not vegetarian. So those issues will also pop up.
Mhm. Probably, probably for the Muslim community, right? They may not care much, right? For the Hindu tradition, right?
So
Mean,
that
yeah.
making it difficult in my places and also will force us to eat meat.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
the
that,
reason why I mentioned about that, because especially in our temple, right? We follow the strict rule of not consuming any kind of meat, and we encourage the student, children, not to kill even the insect or the ant, the bug, and so forth. Isaac, what do you think? Is that so strange at first for you? What do you think?
No, because for some reason before I came here and started to follow Buddhism, I tried to go vegetarian off and on, and I didn't want to kill bugs. I don't know why, but yeah, but I think it maybe is strange for the Westerner, and yeah, because my parents when you know I have a little contraption. If there's a bug, it's made for that. So you can put it, it's like a glass. You can put it over the bug, slide it under, you can take them outside. My parents, of course, they're like, why it's just a bug. Why you care about a bug? So maybe to Westerners it's strange. Yeah.
You were you did that when you were little, since you were little?
No, I bought it I think last year about it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. How about you, Matt? What do you think? Is it so yeah, it's so strange, or what do you think?
In my younger days, I've killed a lot of bugs.
What's that?
When I was young, I killed a lot of bugs.
Me too.
It's yeah, in Western culture, we don't really regard bugs' life as important, is really what it comes down to. Now, so I have a much different perspective, and I do not kill bugs anymore. I do what I say it does. I try to put a glass over them if they're in my house and I want to get them out, and I put them back outside, try not to harm them.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Western culture, there's not a lot of thought given to, there's not a lot of empathy given to bugs as having like important life, I guess.
Okay. Now here, how about in India? Yeah, sorry, I mentioned about this. In India, there's a lot of cow walking around on the street, right? And monkey too. In your area, a lot of monkey and right?
So they're in the forest region and they are also there. So that is where the issue comes when the other people wants to kill them and the other wants to protect them.
Mhm. But the cow everywhere, right?
How will be there?
But the monkey in certain area they allow, in certain area they don't allow.
My father's place is like a forest side, so there's a lot of monkeys all over the road and also.
Mm. Yeah, let me share with you here. This one is just you see that the cow around.
A lot of cows.
Yeah. Mm. Right there, you see. And it's so strange, right? Yeah, imagine we have a cow on the street of Louisville, downtown Louisville. What do you think?
They make the news.
Yeah, yeah. But as people live naturally and harmoniously with animal, that's the point, right? And of course, sometimes this is dirty too because yeah, see that they dump on the street and people respect them. People don't harm them. Right here, let me type the monkey here. Mm.
Working on that. Over here.
And here
King Kong.
we were.
Yeah. Some temples also have a lot of monkeys.
Yeah. In your area, there's a lot of monkey or no?
In forest region, there is a lot of monkey, but we need to go to the forest side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't they take food?
Yeah.
They take food, right?
Food. They still, yeah. Yeah, look for the food. Yeah. Anyway, when I was in India, yeah, I live in the apartment or the hotel. We have to lock the door, especially the window, carefully because they may break in to steal the food. They're looking for the food, not other thing because they don't know, but they're looking for the food. And I used to tell people that when I was there, I used to come down. I live on the high hill. I used to come down to the market, down to the hill, and have to be careful about the monkeys. They run around everywhere. I saw when people carry the food, like the vegetable, whichever food, they jump out and run. They jump out, grab and run. And I told them, yeah, that's a monkey, that's an animal. They don't know, they cannot control themselves as human. That's why we human, we have that type of rules. We cannot jump out, grab people money and run. We cannot do that. We go to the jail, right? But I mean that you see that even in Vietnam, you see the dog, the cat walking everywhere. Let me share with you. Yeah. Uh, mm. In let's see here.
Vietnamese people and Chinese people, you know, they consume the cat.
Let's see. And yes, yeah, this is the food too. They consume the food of the animal too. Anyway, so yeah, my point is somehow yeah, they yeah, they consume. Sorry, I don't want to show this. This is so ugly. Anyway, so the point I want to say is that somehow in Asia, the animal live together with human. I remember that yeah, you know what a buffalo and Stephen remember what a buffalo, right? The ox, right?
Yep, mainly in the countryside, I believe.
Countryside,
Yeah.
people keep them. Yeah, I think it's better. People keep them. Uh, okay. What a buffalo. Ox. Yeah, let me share. Yeah. Hmm. They use okay, let's see here. So they use them to yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they keep them in countryside to do to do the plowing, right? Anyway, and my point I want to say is that somehow in the East, the animal live peacefully and harmoniously with um, the people, of course, in all the country, even now, right? In Korea, in Vietnam, so far, they still consuming dog meat, the cat meat too. Um, yeah. So anyway, the point I want to mention is that somehow with that kind of harmony, we live together with the environment. Okay, yeah, let's see here. Let me move on to this one. Yeah, go ahead and Stephen, please. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, go ahead. You can do this.
The Vinaya has served Theravada Buddhist communities for more than 2.5 millennia as a foundation for practicing the Buddhist path to nirvana and for ensuring the continued survival of the Buddhist Dharma.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, they're just explaining how it's just basically carrying over what Buddha originally his teaching basically of how to obtain nirvana, and it just carry over as best as possible in order to pretty much obtain dharma. So
Oh, Isaac, do you know why as monk and nun we shave our head? You know why?
Because hair can be seen as vanity, and um, yeah, you shave it because a large part of the path is to let go of ego. So you wake up, and most people wake up in the morning and they groom their hair. It's such a vanity thing. It's so much attachment to the hair. So I don't know. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, almost glow. What do you think, Matt? Is it a surprise when you first met us as Buddhist monk and nun, and you saw that we share our hair? What do you think?
No, because in Western media, monks are always portrayed as bald. So so it wasn't a surprise, but I have no idea why you do it.
So you're not surprised when you saw us first?
No.
And you understand? Do you understand now the reason why, the reason behind we shave our head?
Yeah, it makes sense.
What's that? What's the reason then?
Well, just reiterating on what Isaiah said, if the idea is to let go of the ego, the hair is a defining, physical characteristic of our ego. So it's one way to kind of remove the even the temptation to grasp to an aspect of the ego. This is just get rid of it and make sure it's not there. So you just remove the temptation altogether.
Okay, about and Stephen, what do you think? Why is that? Why we keep our hair long? Oh no, so we cut our hair short. Why we shave our hair then? Why is that?
I just didn't understand the full reason why, but just like everyone is repeating there, is just letting go of attachment in general. I believe that's the main goal there. Because not only that, when you have, especially for women with long hair, the attachment to beauty or maybe to youth, you always think you're going to be young all the time, but no, as a human person, you're always going to grow and age, and you're not going to be looking as pretty as when you're younger. So it's just pretty much letting go of attachment in general. So I
Yeah,
believe.
let me share with you. I don't know. Um, in this country, you may not find many of them, but here, you see that's they call the Sikh tradition. You see that they keep that long hair. They're not supposed to cut their hair because they say that hair come from their own God, from God. So in order to respect God, they need to keep their hair as much as they can. Right? That's why they wear the turban there. You see that? So uh, in your community, do you have a lot of sick people?
In India,
Yeah. In your community, you have a lot of sick people around who live around you?
inside we have a lot of sick people. It's not
Not many of them.
outside we don't have them. It's not.
Oh,
Outside we don't have.
oh, really? Okay. So Isaac, have you met some sick people before?
No, I've heard of it, but no, that's interesting. I've never.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Matt? Have you seen them before, Matt?
I don't think so, no.
No? Oh. And
If I did, I didn't recognize it.
you may mess up between Sikh and Muslim people, right? The Sikh people, they keep that long hair and they wrap around that they call the turban them, even the lady here, right? And Stephen, have you seen the Sikh people around? They would wear
I just I just heard briefly about the Sikh people, but I just haven't heard about, the whole tradition of like, especially the long hair, was relevant to that. But
yeah. So that's opposites, right? For us, yeah, we shave our hair, but for them, they supposed to keep their hair and their beard too. All right, Isaac, you know why, Isaac?
Why they keep their hair?
Why is that? You know,
You just say because it's holy, right, to them from God.
to respect their own God because they think the body come from God, from their own God. That's why they're not supposed to cut anything, especially their hair. Their hair. Hmm. Yeah. That's why it's just a bit different between it's opposites between Sikhism and Buddhism. Them one is that in our tradition we're supposed to let go of attachment, right? Because as much as we have attachment, we get stuck there, right? So how often you cut your hair, Isaac?
Once a month, typically.
Okay, yeah.
Grow slow.
Mm. And you see that for them, you see that they call the turban them. They keep their beard and they keep their hair long, and they have what we call five article, five article of faith, Sikhism here. You see that? Let's see here. That's five articles.
Have you always had short hair? You always had short hair, even as a boy?
Yes, yes, they always take with them. Yeah, they have you see this? They keep their hair and they have the comb and they have the kara. The kara represent the unity of God, and they have the kurban. Kurban is a small knife. They keep them as protection and self-defense, and they wear this is the underwear to keep it clean. So have you seen? So probably you may not know right? The sick people, right, Isaac, that they carry this type of knife, right? You never know, right?
You know that.
No. Matt, you never know, right? Matt?
No.
It's so in humanities.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how about you? Have you seen in India people carry this corbin around? In India, have you seen them? They carry this corbin around?
Actually, they are very much into their religion. So now they are asking for a separate state in like India, separate country. They need a so that thing is also.
Okay. Yeah. So and Stephen, imagine that a Buddhist monk carry the corbin around. What do you think?
No
It's
way.
the opposite of our thinking because with a knife like that, it means harm. While the teaching is to do no harm. So no, I can't imagine that.
No way, huh? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So as a monk, we carry the small knife around, right? Um. Yeah. I think I mentioned before. Um. Yeah. Uh. Right before um, uh, COVID-19. So we have what we call the conference for protection of the worship places like the church, the temple, the mosque, and so forth. So many of them, especially many members of the other church, whether Christian church or Catholic church, they came up. They say that some of them carry um, weapons around to protect themselves and protect their churches. But it's turned to when it was my turn, I told them there's no way for us to have those type of weapon around. Uh,
I've talked to my family about that because they're Christian and Catholic. Jesus Christ taught to turn the other cheek, but it seemed that that pacifism that is not it's not so emphasized in Christianity as much as Buddhism. That aspect, they kind of, yeah, maybe the monks in Christianity follow that, but yeah, it's not as much as of an emphasis on that. Even though Christ did teach to turn the other cheek, most of them they don't.
yeah, in Buddhism, we strictly follow that type of non-violence one. That's why there's no way for us to carry any weapons at home or at the temple. Um, so how about Hindu monks, Hindu priests in India? They keep anything to protect themselves, or they just do the same thing as us as Buddhist monk, right?
No, the monks don't keep anything like that. But like, it will be like the warriors, whoever they keep this things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. So Matt, if it surprise to you for the sick people, they carry that type of carbon around. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting. I never knew that they, as a part of their religion, would carry around a knife. There's plenty of people in America that don't follow a religion that do that. So it's interesting to see it's part of a different form of theology. So
In Kentucky, do they allow people to uh carry the run around a weapon around? Do they?
yeah. Oh yeah.
They do.
Size, of course, there's a limit, but yes,
What's that?
there's a limit to the size. There's a regulation, but
I,
you can't.
how big is that?
I don't know.
Okay. But yeah, in Houston, Texas, I saw some of them even they carry the run in the unconcealed one. Yeah, many years ago, probably more than 10 years ago, when they were driving from New Orleans, yeah, New Orleans to back to Kentucky. So when we stopped by at the gas station down there in Louisiana, and I saw whether he's cashier or the manager or supervisor, he carry the unconcealed gun. I'm so surprised.
Mm.
Yeah, I would not see. Matt, you see people carry unconcealed gun around here, or they're not supposed to do that?
Well, most of my time is spent on the university campus, and weapons are prohibited on the campus. So, me personally, no, I don't see. I don't think I've seen it since moving here. No, but I know people who have seen people open carry.
Mhm. So in Kentucky, they're not allowed to carry the unconcealed weapon, right?
Uh, I'm not sure.
Mm.
I know that you can get a concealed carry permit, and I think you need a permit to basically say you can hide it. I'm not sure if Kentucky is a state where you can carry it on you and have it visible to everybody. It might be. I'm not up to date on my gun laws. Um, so I don't.
Yeah. So in India, people carry the unconcealed gun around or not?
It's punishable.
No way, huh? Yeah, that's why there's a lot of shooting here. So Isaac, what do you think? People, if they carry the gun around or if they keep the weapon around, it's more dangerous for their life, right? And their family member, right?
Yeah, that's a very controversial topic. People talk about the Fifth Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can kind of understand both perspectives, but of course, I'm a Buddhist now, so my view will be aligned with the Dharma in that there's no place for weapons to
Mm-hmm.
harm people. People shouldn't have them at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but
And Steven, what do you think? I think we talk about that, right? Imagine that every one of us keep the weapon at home or carry the weapon at home. Is any dangerous about that?
Very dangerous because the problem is, unless you are like um, monastic staff member who's truly following Buddhist teaching and staff in regards to do no harm, you're always practicing right way of thinking and action already. As normal layperson, we're not there, not even close, and having someone carry a gun when it comes to jealousy, anger, whatever. Next thing you know, the gun comes out that caused all the harm, and that's what, the phrase, a lot of people said, gun don't kill people. It's people who kill people. And it's just way too dangerous. I don't agree on, having for normal people to carry guns at all, unless you are of more of like police, for protection, the normal people, then I believe that's for protection, it's okay. But for normal people, we just cannot control your thinking. So I don't agree with it.
Of course, but we have to protect ourselves and our family members.
There are different ways though, not just gun is too dangerous.
Anyway, and the alternation and the alternative ways to protect ourselves at home or what even at temple. What do you think?
Security system, alarm. I mean, those kind of thing there would be much, much more beneficial. So
Mm, okay. What do you think, Matt? Yeah, what do you think? And the option and the alternative option that we need to protect ourselves besides you keeping the weapon at home or carry the weapon around. What do you think?
My view is in contrast to Stephen's. I am of the view that a person does have the right to defend themselves if they feel that their life is threatened. And because of the times that we live in, because guns are so prevalent in the society, I think it's important that gun education be taught so that people know the dangers, know how to use them, know how to take care of them, and operate them safely, while also knowing the damage that they can cause because they are so prevalent. Like, because this is the weapon of our times, right? This is back when there weren't guns. People had swords and knives and were killing each other with swords and knives. And they probably had the same debates that we're having now over guns, over swords and knives. So the weapons are always going to be there as long as we have our current, ways of thinking as our human race. So in order to kind of get a somewhat of a grasp on the violence aspect, I think it comes with more knowledge of the tool, because like in anything else, it's just another tool. Because people don't recognize the dangers of it, that is really what leads to gun violence incidences. So with proper training and education, that's what can truly minimize incidences, in my opinion.
Yeah, how about in India? They rely upon the policeman when something happens, when someone break in the house, is right? Do they have any type of way to secure themselves, to protect themselves?
Police, mostly it is police. So we'll call them, then they will come. It's like that. And I'm not a supporter of on that culture to be
So,
like
so
connecting
they have any system that they call 911 like in the United States to call police or what?
Yes, we call police, mostly call police. Then there's the other thing is, the neighbors and all these relationships are so good. So even police doesn't not want to come. Even we shout or something, the neighbors, everyone will come together to help. So it's like people itself help each other. If someone have any injuries or anything, immediately everyone comes together for help. One person to call and come, someone to take, it's not.
Yeah, somehow we have some kind of community protection too, right? Our neighbor may protect us, and we need to protect our neighbor and so forth, right? Yeah.
So caring and all.
Yeah. So Isaac, in this country, it's not easy, right? Just if something happen, you think your neighbor may help you out, may step out to step you help you out.
It's not that kind of culture.
Okay.
Maybe certain communities and neighborhoods, but mine, maybe probably not, honestly, and that's sad. But I think we've lost a lot of that the West in general, because we become so advanced per se. We lost a lot of that interconnectedness within our community. But I'm sure it exists in our country, but not my neighborhood, probably not.
Yeah. How about you, Matt? How about your communities? You have some kind of communities protection together or what?
No, I know the three neighbors that are kind of closest to my house, and haven't met any other. Yeah, just touching on what Isaiah said, there's not a big community aspect, at least where I live. When I was younger, I used to live on a cul-de-sac, a dead end street. And this is back in the early 2000s. And when we were there originally, all the neighbors in that street knew each other. And then slowly, one by one, they began to move away, and new people would move in, and they weren't as friendly. And so that community just kind of decayed over time.
Yeah, okay. How about you and Steven? Your communities, your neighborhood is pretty good to protect each other or what?
It's pretty decent. They have a small kind of like a watch, I guess. And there's also, I believe, the area here. They even have like a kind of like a Facebook page that announces, whatever things that's happening, a break-in or whatever. Then they would post it on just to notify everyone in the community to just watch out and beware. So, I think it is pretty safe in my neighborhood, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, so yeah, around our temple, yeah, many people they feel decent people. Yeah, they have the what do you call neighborhood, right?
Neighborhood
Watch,
watch.
watch, yeah. Uh, so Isaac, do they have that type of website? Um, mm,
I
to
got an email alert with something to sign up, but I didn't I didn't do it. So they might actually be like that, but I'm the one that's not participating. So
not only protecting our our family members, but we also need to protect our communities, and they protect us too. It's more safe, right? Okay, so thank you. So see you then. Thank you. Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
I